Good morning, Collin. Welcome to the interview and thank you for joining us today. Let's kick off by hearing a few of your thoughts on the Sony Open in Hawaii. You obviously have some ties to the island, so just talk us through how it feels to be here and how special this event is.
Yeah, no, I love the Hawaii swing. Anytime I can start in Maui, come to Oahu, I'm going to be playing. Obviously, having family out here, my entire dad's side, it just makes things a little more special. Makes it feel a little more like home, even though I never grew up here, I never lived here. It's all part of it. Anytime you have a tie to a location, a golf course, whatever it is, it just makes you want to kind of win at that location a little more. So hopefully we have a good week this week.
Impressions on the course yet? Have you had a chance to play? We know you were here last year.
No, I haven't checked it out yet. Today will be the first day. Obviously, last year we had some windy, some wet conditions, so we'll see what it's like this year. But it's very scoreable. Birdies are going to be out there no matter what the conditions are like. Guys are going to, not let their foot off the pedal and just keep making a lot of low numbers.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and open it up. Doug Ferguson, Associated Press.
Morning, Collin. This is kind of a weird hypothetical for you. I think anyway, you've never been to the Sony Open without having played the Tournament of Champions because you won so early, right?
Correct.
You've been away. So I'm just curious, is this an event, do you think, that you would play if it was the start of the year? In other words, fly all the way over for 1 week before heading off for the rest of your West Coast swing?
Well, it's a great hypothetical.
Yeah.
But, Hawaii is special to me. And, I would love to come out here starting the year out in Hawaii. Like, it has obviously the right, kind of vibes. It gets you going to start the year. And I love it out here. So, if it were like that, I'd definitely give it a good thought. I'd probably come out here and play. Like I said, I've got a lot of family out here. It means a lot. The West Coast swing means a lot to me, just being a guy from the West Coast. And I love these events out here.
And quickly, this is another probably unfair question, but which course do you enjoy playing more? Totally different.
I enjoy walking Sony Open a lot more. Okay, I'll tell you that.
Lastly, before we go, I don't know if you've heard the Masters said they're going to have limited fans this year. What are your thoughts on that? Do you find that encouraging or discouraging?
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I think it's obviously encouraging. I think all these tournaments are going to start bringing fans back, whether it's, limited capacity or a certain amount per day. They're going to do it right. The PGA Tour, when we're going to do it, I know they're going to, I think, allow it at Phoenix. We're always going to follow the right rules. We've built a system. The PGA Tour has built a system. I'm sure the Masters, Augusta have built a system or are building a system right now with everyone else to make sure this doesn't get out of hand. We've done a really good job since the start of May, since we started. And I think the PGA Tour they need to be given the credit. We're the first really big tour to come out here and do this stuff. So, I think we still need to watch ourselves on what we do and where we're going to be going. But for the most part, slowly to start seeing fans, it's going to be really exciting.
Great. Thanks, Collin.
Thanks, Doug. We'll move to Adam Schupak with Golf Week.
Hey, Collin, could you drill down a little bit more on the family history in Hawaii for me?
Yeah, so my entire dad's side was born on Maui, or I think was born on Maui. And we've got, 10 plus cousins and brother, and, he has a bunch. We have so many cousins, like I lose count. And so they started in Maui. They used to have a restaurant called the Morikawa restaurant that was on Front Street. I had never been to it. My dad used to go as a little kid when he'd come. But my dad was born in California, so a lot of our cousins now live on Oahu. So they live on this island where Sony Open is. We've seen him. We've come a bunch as a little kid. But, I've never lived here. Just obviously now playing out here, you can tell the family ties are just getting stronger and stronger.
What type of food did they serve there? Did you visit Hawaii much as a kid on family vacations or anything like that?
Yeah, it was just kind of local Hawaiian food. All little plate lunches, kind of noodles, saimin, all that type of stuff. I wish I can go back because my dad remembers like the food and like he wants that type of food, specific, certain types of food that is just hard to find at like newer restaurants out here. But We visited a good handful of times when I was a kid. I'd say we come, every year or 2 years. We'd try at least, summer vacation, winter vacation, whatever it was. And, I've been back to Hawaii pretty much every year since senior year of high school now. We've come for college. We've played tournaments out here. So hopefully we just keep this going.
You've been such a good closer in the early part of your career. What did you learn about yourself, your game, from Sunday?
That's golf, and I'm going to learn from it. It's going to be tough. Obviously, a lot of guys were still playing well, and that's what you have to do. On a course like that where guys are making birdie, you have to keep your foot on the pedal. You have to keep making birdies, but you have to stay patient. I got off to a rough start and had a couple bad breaks not go my way. I didn't make a few putts that I really needed to, and, I was, I think, 1 over through the turn instead of, 2, 3 under. What I'm going to take from that, I think there's a lot. I think the biggest thing is I just have to be ready. I felt like I was ready, but I gave myself and I put myself in contention. And that's what I want to do more come Sunday for this year, 2021, is just to put myself in contention. Because, if I've got a chance come Sunday with 9 holes left, I've done everything I could, and, hopefully you just close it out like that.
Thank you.
Brian Wacker, Golf Digest.
Hey, Collin, just a couple of things. Just curious, you've had more than a handful of starts now since winning the PGA. And it's been up and down. Some of that's, obviously just golf. I'm just curious, though, how you view that since your win and what you've maybe learned.
Yeah, obviously, I wouldn't say the golf has been great at the tail end of 2020, but, I think I've kind of turned it around slowly at the end of, December when I played on the European Tour and, as of last week. I just had to reset. That's the biggest thing, for me, setting goals, trying to figure out what I need to get better at, and really telling myself, okay, I need to focus on this. I need to give myself a few days to really grind and practice. I sat down with my coach for a couple days and we had a really good talk about what I need to do and what we need to do better, especially after something like that, happens. I win the PGA Championship, but the year's not over. The season wasn't over. And, for me, it was just about figuring out what I want to do for the rest of the season. Obviously, winning a major last year was a huge, check off the box, put a smile on my face. I still wanted more. But I thought that good play would just kind of lead over, and that's never the case. I think any golfer will tell you that. That's just never the case on how golf works. You guys know that. And you have to come every week. Every week is a new course, and you just have to be prepared. And that's what I really didn't do towards the tail end. So no matter what happens this year, if I play well, I just got to keep resetting and keep focusing on what I want to kind of achieve for the year.
And just to follow up, you obviously had success at a very young age, and we're seeing more and more guys win out here earlier and earlier. Do you think an amateur could win on the PGA Tour right now? And if so, why or why not?
They could. I can't see why not. I felt like when I was a senior in college, I could have came out here and won. And the hardest thing is, these opportunities. Being on the PGA Tour, we're able to play every week or any week we want to. Guys that are amateurs, it's not like they can pick a schedule and they can go play 15 events, 20 events a year. Most likely they're going to have 1 or 2 starts where they got to, show what they got. And for a lot of them, it's going to be their first time on the PGA Tour and first time seeing a bunch of guys that they've kind of idolized. And that's the same thing we all go through. It's just whatever level, you can understand that at the end of the day, it's just golf. Who's going to play the best golf for 4 days? And I could see it happening. It's not easy. It's not easy, at all. That's a simple answer right there.
I can't recall off the top of my head the first event you would have played at, but I'm curious if you were at all wowed at all being in that environment, and if you think that's the case for some guys, or if that's less so now.
Yeah. So the first professional event I played was a Web.com in Kansas. Lost in a playoff. But then my first PGA Tour event was the Safeway Open. And, of course, there's going to be that wow factor. Did I believe I belonged? Of course. You know, I didn't just come there just to, you know, enjoy the experience. I still wanted to play really well and have a good finish. But that week I missed the cut, and you learn a lot. You know, you learn a lot from missing cuts. You learn a lot from those 2 days of what you did wrong and what you need to do better. But I think a lot of guys coming out and seeing young guys, you know, like me, Wolf, Victor, Joaquin, Scotty Scheffler, you know, a bunch of guys that we've grown up with, you know, kind of see us play well. I think it gives them confidence as well to play well, because that's all in it. You know, you see a fellow guy that you've grown up for, you've grown up for 10 plus years, play well, and you know you've beaten them, kind of gives them another edge to say, okay, you know, they can do it, I can do it as well.
Why did you think at Safeway? Why did you think you could play well? And I don't want to say content, but you know, you weren't. You had expectations. Why was that?
Oh, I mean, you know, like I said, the end. Excuse me. At the end of the day, it's just golf, and how do you plot around the golf course Monday through Wednesday to figure out what you can do best and how you can, you know, beat the course really. I didn't come out there just to see if my game was good enough. I already thought my game was good enough. I just needed it. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm sorry. All right, let's start this over. Yeah, you know, I didn't show up to Safeway because I wanted to just have fun. You know, I wouldn't take a spot like that from another player or whatever just to see if my game's good enough. I know my game was good enough. I wanted to go out and compete. So getting that start at Safeway, getting the start at the, you know, Arnold Palmer Invitational the following year, they mean a lot, because those are the opportunities where you really get to see your game against everyone else. So you hope to make it up, you know, year on year out.
Colin, we've got a couple follow-up questions. First, we'll go to Adam Shupak.
Hey, Colin, I heard the story about the matchbox. What have you done with the matchbox?
I don't know. I don't even know where it was sent. To be honest, I don't even think it was sent to me. I think it might have been sent to my agent or my family. But you know, my dad talks about the restaurant every time we're here, and he misses it. I wish we had it, because how cool would that be to have it on Front Street, where, you know, every tourist goes pretty much everywhere on Maui now.
Do you know when it closed?
I don't.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much.
Colin, I want to come one more time back to the Masters with this weird question. When is the last time that you can recall that you heard a cheer? And I'm not talking about, you know, a couple hundred people around the 18th at Harding. I mean a real throaty cheer.
I don't even remember. That's a great question. I really don't. But I miss it. You know, it's good to start a new year, 2021, because it's so refreshing, and you know, everyone gets to start fresh and come out new, or at least we think so. Because for me, you know, the tail end of 2020, it was just getting dull, and it's not like how I was coming out, like, you know, not ready to play golf or anything. But we do miss those cheers, you know, when you hear a couple guys, or, you know, you hear 20 people give you some claps and they're really into it, it just gets you going. It gets you wanting to play just a little more. And that's why we love, you know, that's part of our job, is to kind of entertain people.
You think, I got to think you're not alone in that. I mean, if you ask a number of people if they could really remember the last one.
Yeah, it'd be really tough. I mean, it's, you know, you go all the way back to players. And even then, it was kind of a blur, because all of that happened within a week, and everyone's lives changed within, you know, 24 hours. And that was not our focus on, you know, seeing all the fans. But, you know, I remember being out there walking around 17 with a bunch of people out there, and that was really cool. But, you know, to have a memory like that for almost a year now, it kind of sucks.
This is a horrible example, and don't hate me for it, but think back to 3M. A couple of years ago with you and Wolf. You remember that?
Absolutely.
That?
Oh yeah. I can definitely remember that.
Just how noisy it was, and
Yeah, I think as golfers, with all the fans, it's cool because they line fairways. They block off greens with grandstands and everything, and it creates a whole different sense of a golf course. Guys have had to adjust to certain courses like Augusta without grandstands, without fans, without whatever's out there, and that's just all part of it. Because when you're a golfer, you're one person standing in the middle of the fairway with thousands of people around you, and we just haven't seen that. And that's a whole different dynamic. That's a whole different setting, a feeling that you get coming down 18, coming down the back nine, whatever it may be, that we miss. Because for me, it adds just an extra sense of focus that you have to be there to really, close out a tournament.
You've never been heckled, have you?
Not yet. Hopefully not too much.
That's maybe one side. Thanks for your time.
Go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you for your time, Collin. Good luck this week.
Thank you, guys.